Three, two, one. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Founders Log. I'm your host, Calvin Wineland, founder of American Butchers JERKi. Today is iteration 1818, and this morning is the April 17th. We are talking about the past, the present, and the future in these Founders Logs to really give you the inside perspective of what is American Butchers JERKi. What it is that's going through my head, not only as a business, what's going on in my head as a company, what's going on in my head as creating a product. These are all things that we are going to kind of go ahead and break down. So for those of you who are first-time listeners, what we do here is we talk about everything that's happened in the last week of operation for us as a business, everything that we are currently doing right now at this day for this operation, and everything that we are going to strive to do in the next week, and we kind of assess if we did everything that we talked about last week. It's just an opportunity for you as a listener to kind of see where my head's at for this company moving forward. It's also important for me to kind of self-diagnose and self-analyze the things that I'm trying to do for this company and see if I can actually accomplish those things. So it's a learning development tool both for myself and for anyone who's currently listening or no one who's listening. Either way, today, like I said, is the 18th iteration of this. So we've been doing this for quite some time now, and this week has been a pretty interesting week. I say that, I'm pretty sure I said that exact same phrase in last week's conversation, but I really believe that we are doing something pretty incredible here at American Butchers JERKi, and we are striving to achieve some pretty incredible things. I mean, I put out a post on Instagram this past day, this past week, and I talked about the importance of who it is that we are doing this for, who American Butchers JERKi is striving to help. That's the one thing is, it's one thing for a business to go out and help itself. It's another thing for a business to go out and help somebody that's not themselves. And one of the things that we do here is we send beef jerky to military service members overseas. And this past week has been a handful task of doing just that. We have spent countless hours in the last week just packaging, getting everything, shipping supplies, getting everything ready for shipping overseas. So we've achieved so far like 350 bags. If you don't know the kind of concept behind it, go listen to last week's video or podcast, and that'll give you a little understanding of what it is I'm talking about. But we're going to continue moving forward. So we got 350 bags that need to find homes. Well, we found all 350 homes this past week, and we are still getting names coming in, which has me a little worried, and I'll talk about that just coming up, but it has me a little worried. But we've been spending a huge amount of time packaging, and I'm looking at my desk right now, and we have probably 25 bags, 30 bags that still need to be shipped out. I shipped out like 150 between myself and Joe's help. Joe is a fellow assistant. He's kind of helping me and making this baby of mine come out to be a reality. Fellow pilot, fellow aviator, stick buddy currently in the Black Hawk course. Just throwing a couple hands my way and really just going above and beyond as a friend to kind of help make all this possible. But between the two of us, we've spent quite a long time this past week. We hit 150 bags shipped overseas, in addition to our already total amount of overseas. So I think I just looked at it last night. We're at 450 bags overseas, which is crazy because we still have like 200 bags to ship. Like I said, just have 30 sitting on my desk here. And then I just put in the rest of the order with my folks over in Dallas, and they are going to be shipping us, or probably have shipped, the next 150 bags to us. So we will be having like some crazy number. We're sitting at 450 right now donated. So if you add 150, we have like 600 bags, which our initial goal within 1 year was 500. And that just shows you that we have crushed that goal. We have done an excellent job as a community, as a business, and as just like a team to make all this happen. And so what I've done in the past week is we have that recognize a hero, sponsor a hero spotlight where individuals can go out, and whether they are in the military or currently know someone who's in the military, they can go in and fill that form out. And what it does is it sends an email to me. I basically throw it in a spreadsheet and write down the shipping address, how many bags they're roughly needing, etc. And we put a cap at 25 bags per unit just to kind of make sure that we are spreading the wealth. Our whole objective was to achieve and reach out to more service members. So we put a cap on 25. And one of the things that I was talking about earlier is how I'm a little worried that we are receiving too many service members and not enough donations. So in the beginning, we were very worried because we didn't have enough homes for all 350 bags. Well, now we have all 350 bags homes, but we're continuing to get those donations. We're continuing to send those bags overseas, but we're not getting is any orders. It is weird, and that's probably on me a little bit, but our order count has been kind of steady. It's slow and it's steady. So we're not getting the amount of donations to basically supply the amount of service members that we have. So that is something that is currently going through my head in how do we change that? How do we make that better? How do we attract more customers? And I think it's important to really tell your story and what it is that you are doing. And that might help us kind of attract more customers. But for those who donate or for those who recommend someone, they're also not purchasing. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Just going through my head right now is you got someone who would love to send, beef jerky or send 25 bags over to their service member, but they don't want to purchase a bag to go overseas. And I don't know. That's just kind of me, and my personal thing is I was just like, we have had some customers who are like, yeah, my brother's overseas. Let me go out and buy one too to kind of aid into someone else's. And so what I've done in all emails, I kind of really structured and said, hey, thanks for volunteering, or thanks for sending us your service members. Would you like to donate towards someone else's service members? And what that does is it just kind of allows them to make that connection and hopefully feel a little bit more connected to the cause, and so hopefully they can help someone else out. So that's a little bit of a interesting thing that's going through my head, is just trying to see the best way to capture more sales, capture more opportunities to grow, mostly because we have all these service members, and I would hate to not be able to have any snacks, any jerky to donate towards them. So that is something that I'm kind of worried about in the past week, and something that I'm going to try and achieve to be better next week, something that I'm going to work on. Something else that we've done in the past week is we have been developing the website for our t-shirts. I've decided how we're going to kind of handle these t-shirt sales, and one of the things that I want to do is I want to get all jerky shipped out. I don't want to have any donated bags here because that is where I want to put all my attention towards. And I feel like if I post the t-shirts right away, then my attention will kind of be diverted to fulfilling those orders, which I don't want it to do. So we're going to hold off on t-shirts. But that doesn't mean I can't create the website and the catalog and the product description and everything. So took some pictures this past week. Hopefully they look really good for you guys as a customer. And we kind of wrote out the website to display that information and description. And honestly, I think the t-shirts are looking really good. I've been wearing them a lot this past week. I wore it working out, wore it to work, I wore it flying. And honestly, I think it's a great t-shirt. It's been breathable, it's been durable, and when it comes to t-shirts, I think that is like the most important thing. It's just being able to wear it and not feel like you're getting suffocated in it. It's not too tight around the neck. I've noticed that on a few t-shirts, and honestly, I think the t-shirt atmosphere is really exciting, and that'll be something that we can look forward to as we move forward. It was weird as I was trying to write the information in the t-shirt because I'm like, at the end of the day, it's a t-shirt. So, I mean, I can go out and write like a paragraph of how awesome this t-shirt is, but at the end of the day, it's just like it's a t-shirt that represents us. So it's more of like a badge of honor. I say that because it's got our logo spit spat right in the middle of the chest, and I think it just really comes out to be, it's a t-shirt, but when you're wearing that t-shirt, you're representing American Butchers JERKi, and you're representing the mindset that we stand behind and the support that we give towards those service members. And that's something that we kind of have pushed out. So hopefully that t-shirt does a great job in explaining that. And so kind of as we are progressing a little bit forward and talking about what it is that we're doing right now, to this day, to this point right now, I am packaging out the rest of these bags of jerky. We talked about that, just about that in the past week, and what it is that we want to still accomplish towards this day. I've also highlighted last week that what I was going to bring up in this week's conversation was this Instagram sponsored ad. And so what I've noticed just looking at the Instagram results is a lot of people like the ad. It gets that post a lot of likes, but there's not a lot of engagement from that ad. One of the things that I've most noticed from our engagement is like going out and sharing yourself and getting others to kind of follow along in your mission seems to be the most popular way of kind of attracting new customers and getting people to like you. The Instagram has been popping though. I'm looking at our Instagram now, and we are currently sitting at, let me look, I'm pulling it up right here, 326 followers. I mean, just in the last month, I'm trying to see if I can do this. In the last month, we have hit, last 30 days, our total audience has grown 13.9%, which equates to overall growth in one specific day was 12. That's a lot. We've been, oh, this is cool. It kind of I didn't realize all this information is in this app. I'll have to mess more around with that when I'm not doing a podcast. But one of the things that I'm also working on right now is the podcast. I'm using a program called Audacity to make these podcasts. I've got a microphone that's holding up pretty well. It's doing its job. Got the Audacity program, and one thing that I'm starting to look into is the hosting platform for these podcasts. So I was thinking about putting it on YouTube, but then I was like, well, I don't film myself talking, so that's kind of out of it. I was thinking about putting it on SoundCloud and was looking at the price for hosting on that. I looked at iTunes. Honestly, we've been looking at a few different platforms on how we want to host these podcasts, because in order to upload these podcasts, you have to find a hosting provider. So it's really determining who is going to be the best for our buck. And as a small company, you really have to prioritize where you're putting your money. And that is something that I have been very money management for, is because as a business, it's important to realize that every dollar is important, which, I mean, as you grow in size and scale, every dollar is still important. But as a small business, you will really start to realize you don't have any wiggle room sometimes, and every penny counts. So what I'm thinking is we're going to probably go the SoundCloud route, upload these to SoundCloud, and then transfer these podcasts into their respective channels that way. And what that'll be able to do is just, we already are doing it on SoundCloud. They offered us like 3 hours of free upload time, and we're just now probably going to hit over that 3 hours. So we'll utilize SoundCloud, keep it in the same keep it in the same style that we have been doing it, and kind of go from there. And then that pretty much covers everything for the past and the present. Now, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what we want to accomplish in the next week, so that in a week's time we can come back and see if we have actually accomplished what it is that we want to talk about, or what it is that we are trying to develop towards. So one thing that I have here on just a little bit of notes on things that I want to kind of strive for is customer engagement. What I mean by that is we have done an excellent job. I say we because I'm giving myself a compliment, but I think in the past week, we've done a really good job about keeping engagement with customers through Instagram. We've been kind of using the stories platform to basically tell every step of the way in regards to making products, shipping products, packaging products. We've done a really good job about showing the customer the behind the scenes. Now, what I want to do is I want to get like engagement. So I want to like allow them to click yes or no on polls, allow them to communicate with us, allow them to be some engagement. And what we're trying to do is create this JERKi platform to be more of a community based. As I have a Jeep Wrangler, and every time I drive around, when I see another Jeep, you give a little wave. And that type of bond or that sense of community makes you want to stay and drive a Jeep. I mean, every time I drive my buddy's car or go on a car ride with somebody else and I see a Jeep, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to wave at them. But I'm not in a Jeep, so you can't do that because they're wondering what the heck it is that you're doing. And what I want to do is try and create that same type of community in this JERKi thing. And I want people to be like, hey, you represent JERKi? Yeah, you do. Awesome. I do too. And I haven't really thought the process behind it, but I want it to be significant. I want it to represent something. I want it to be something. And what that's going to end up entailing is us going ahead and utilizing our platform to kind of just do that. And I want it to be more than just a snack brand. I want it to be more than just a beef stick. I want it to be more than just JERKi. And what I mean, we are so much more than that, and we have done and assisted so much more than that. But there's always ways to continue to be better. And like I've talked about is I want to use Instagram a lot more to do that. And so I need to get better at scheduling things when it comes to posts. Right now, posts are just kind of like when I feel ready or when I feel comfortable, I just kind of like put something together and I throw it up. And what that does is it really does not show consistency for you as an audience, for you as a engagement. And so it's hard for you to know what it is that I'm posting or when it is that I'm posting. And I think that that is something that we could definitely enhance a little better and giving the customer experience something to work on. Something else that we're trying to work on is trying to find, I talked about last week, the price point for how we want to offer this JERKi. We talked about a little price break that I've been working on. We've talked about kind of how we want to handle bulkier items. So right now, customers are really ordering through that 1 to 3 range. So when they order a bag, they're sticking somewhere between 1 to 3 bags of JERKi. What we want to try and do is entice a little more bags. So from that 4 to 8 range or 8 to 16 range. And so when you buy more, there's obviously a bigger incentive to go with a little discount. And so that's something we're trying to process and figure out on our end. And that is something that I'm trying to think about. Thinking about trying to accomplish is how much to cut off. We really, when I'm looking at the numbers here and I'm looking at our cost of goods, I've got that spreadsheet pulled up here on this computer. And when I'm looking at these costs of goods, you really start to see how it is that your pricing is allocated. And when it comes down to your profit margins, when you give a bag overseas and you just kind of send one overseas, you really start to see where you don't have a lot of wiggle room. So we're trying to find the best way to make this product as effective as possible so that we can lower that prices in certain areas to obviously allow discounts in certain areas. So that's something we're trying to accomplish, something that we're working on. And yeah, that's what next week is going to kind of hold. It's been a heck of a ride so far. Iteration 18 is getting wrapped up here. So just want to take the time to thank you all for listening as we wrap up into the 20 minutes here. Like I said, if you have any questions or any comments, just let us know. Reach out to us. You can always hit me up, and I will kind of walk through or explain anything and everything. What a ride, and we still have a lot to go. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and I will see you guys in next week's Founders Log. Goodbye.